You ever look around and wonder, how do some people just get rich? I mean, it seems so easy for them. Meanwhile, so many of us work our tails off our entire lives and end up with, well, not a whole lot to show for it. Turns out, this is not some new 21st century problem. Nope. The secrets to fixing this are literally thousands of years old, etched into clay tablets from ancient Babylon. So let's crack open that timeless wisdom, shall we? This is the big question, right? It's the one that can just drive you crazy. You get a paycheck, you pay your bills, you put in the hours, and still, at the end of the month, or heck, at the end of your career, your wallet's feeling pretty light. It really feels like we're all missing some secret instruction manual, doesn't it? Well, that instruction manual might just be this book right here, The Richest Man in Babylon. It's one of the most incredible books on wealth you'll ever read, and it doesn't use complicated charts or jargon. It uses simple stories, parables set way back in ancient times to lay out these financial laws. And what's wild is that these ancient rules are just as powerful and just as true today as they were back then. So to figure out the solution, we first got to get a really good look at the problem. And our story kicks off in ancient Babylon with a guy who, by all accounts, should have been rolling in it, but just wasn't. Okay, so picture this. Bansir is living in a city that is literally overflowing with gold. I mean, we're talking dazzling wealth and grandeur everywhere you look. And he's the best at what he does, a master chariot builder making these incredible rides for all the rich folks. He's earning money, he's working hard, and he's still broke. Sound a little familiar? And you can just feel the frustration in that quote, can't you? He's talking to his buddy Kobe, a musician, and he's just laying out this desperation of working so hard, but getting absolutely nowhere. And then it hits them. They've never actually tried to get wealthy. They've only ever tried to get work. And that little realization, that's the turning point. So what do you do when you don't have the answer? Well, you find someone who does. Bansir and Kobe decide, okay, enough complaining. It's time to go find some wisdom. And they knew exactly who to ask. The one guy in all of Babylon who had definitely figured this whole money thing out. Now, Arcade wasn't some guy who inherited his money. No way. He started out as a humble scribe, just a regular guy with a massive desire to be wealthy. He figured there had to be rules to making money, like laws of nature, something you could learn. And the secret he finally unlocked, well, it was almost laughably simple. And boom, there it is. That one sentence, that's the whole secret right there. It's the absolute bedrock of everything else that follows. Just let that sink in for a second. A part of all I earned was mine to keep. It sounds so obvious, but what does it really mean in practice? Arcad called his big ideas the cures for a lean purse. And this first one, this is the real game changer. It's all about shifting how you think about the money you make. You see, you don't pay the butcher, the landlord, and the candlemaker first. No, the very first person you pay is yourself. It's really that straightforward. Before a single coin goes to anyone else for anything, a piece of that income belongs to you, to your future. You set it aside, you don't spend it, you keep it. And the amount he suggests is just as simple. 10%. That's it. That's the starting line. Arcad's whole point is that for most of us, we won't even really feel that 10% being gone from our daily spending. But the effect it has on our savings, on our purse, it's huge. It's immediate. It starts to get fatter. This is the seed, the tiny acorn from which your giant oak tree of wealth is going to grow. Okay, but just keeping that 10% is only the first step. I mean, a pile of gold just sitting there, it doesn't do much. It doesn't grow. You've got to put that money to work. And that's where the next cures come into play, turning your savings into a real system for building wealth. So, once you're paying yourself first, you've got to live on what's left. That means you control your spending, what we'd call making a budget. Next, you take that money you've saved and you make it work for you. That's investing. And this is so important. You protect your growing treasure by not being foolish and by getting advice from people who actually know what they're talking about. Arcad had this brilliant way of explaining compound interest. He called every coin you save a golden slave that goes to work for you. And then all the money it earns, those are its children. And guess what? They go to work for you too. It's such a simple, powerful way to picture an army of money that's constantly flowing back into your purse, whether you're working that day or not. But of course, there are pitfalls. Arcad learned this the hard way. He lost his entire first year of savings.
Why? Because he gave it to a brickmaker who promised to go buy rare jewels. It was a complete disaster. The lesson here is pretty clear. You don't ask your plumber for stock tips, and you don't ask a brickmaker for advice on buying jewels. You go to the experts.
Now, a lot of people might hear this story and think, oh, please, this Arquette guy, he just got lucky. But the book makes a really, really powerful point about this. It argues that wealth has nothing to do with luck. It's about something totally different.
You see, there's a huge difference between luck and opportunity. Luck is passive. It's just sitting around waiting for a bag of gold to fall out of the sky. Opportunity, that's active. That's the door that opens up because you were prepared, because you were saving that 10%, because you were learning. Arcad wasn't lucky. He was ready to pounce when the right chance came along. And this right here is the final huge mindset shift. Good luck doesn't just randomly happen. It's drawn to people who are already moving, people who are doing the work, saving, learning, and looking for those chances. Action, it's like a magnet for good fortune. So at the end of the day, the ancient wisdom of Babylon isn't about some secret stock tip or a get-rich-quick scheme. It all starts with one simple decision that you make over and over again. A part of all I earn is mine to keep. Your journey to a fatter purse doesn't begin with some giant leap. It starts with that very first coin you decide to pay to yourself. The only question is, what action are you going to take today?